everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about grammatical cases. That's a fascinating topic for everyone learning a language like Polish, where cases plays a significant role in the structure of the sentence and the meaning. By the end of this video, you will understand what are the cases and how they work in English and Polish. Let me start by giving you a quick overview what we are going to cover in this lesson. First, I will explain what grammatical cases are. We will look at their functions, essentially why cases are important. After that, we will compare cases English and Polish, including some examples. Finally, we will conclude it with a quick test to check your understanding.
Hi, Carolina. Can you tell me what these grammatical cases are?
So, what are grammatical cases? They are special word forms in some languages, and they help to understand the relationship between words in a sentence, and they serve different functions.
Okay, but which parts of speech in Polish will change due to cases?
Now, you might wonder which part of speech are being changed per cases. So, in Polish, these are adjectives, nouns, numerals, and pronouns. Pronouns can sometimes change entirely. Like in English, I will change to me in its accusative form. In other parts of speech, these changes can be smaller. These changes are helpful for conveying meaning accurately.
You said that they serve different functions. What functions?
Moving on to their functions, cases serves as markers to indicate what words are used for in a sentence. For example, they can tell us who is doing an action, they can tell us who is receiver of something, or who is an object, or even where something is happening. Each case has its specific role and application. For instance, the nominative case is used for the subject of the sentence, and accusative is used for the object in the sentence. By using these cases correctly, you ensure that your sentences are clear and precise. Think of cases like the glue that holds the sentence together. Without relying too much on the word order or prepositions, which is particularly useful for flexible languages like Polish. So each case has its specific function in Polish, but what is particularly interesting is how certain prepositions and verbs are tied together with a particular grammatical case. So if you are learning Polish, it will be very useful to learn what verbs and prepositions connecting with these specific cases.
Oh yeah, I'll probably learn this later. But now I am curious about how many cases are there in Polish?
Polish has 7 grammatical cases, which may sound like a lot compared to English, which has only 3, or German, but nothing compared to Hungarian, which has 29 cases, and Finnish with 12. On the other hand, Slavic languages like Czech and Ukrainian also has 7 cases, very similar to Polish. However, Russian and Belarusian has 6, so without this vocative case. However, the language with the most grammatical cases is Tabasaran, a Caucasian language, which has 45 cases.
Oh wow. How will I be able to use them? I will probably confuse each of them.
Well, the good news is that learning language may be overwhelming at first, but making mistake along the way is completely okay. Native speakers are very understanding and they will still be able to follow what you meant. Even if your endings aren't always perfect, these small errors in cases rarely leads to misunderstandings. So as you continue to practice, Um, Always remember that it's always better to try and communicate rather than try to avoid mistakes for fear of the mistake. Mastery comes with time and hard work.
Good to know. Now I'm relaxed. If English has cases, then how do they look like?
Okay, now let's look at how grammatical cases look like in English. In English, there are three grammatical cases: nominative case that identifies the subject, the performer of an action; accusative case denotes the object, it's the person or thing receiving an action; and genitive case, which indicates a position, and it's also the only case in English where the noun visibly change by using this apostrophe n s in English, like for example, the cat's toy or the girl's book. So finally, there was something like vocative case used when directly addressing to someone, although it never altered any word forms in modern English. In English, pronouns change according to their case. I, me, mine; we, us, ours; you, yours; he, him, his; she, her; she likes him; he likes me; she likes us. So, yes, but for the nouns, apart from the genitive case, all the forms remain the same, and the visible changes are only in this pronouns. So, for the rest, everything is just minimal changes.
So is this why English speakers don't need to know them? Why then I need to know it when I learn a language like Polish?
Yes, English students don't really need to learn about cases because they are not used that much. And also because English relies on the word order and prepositions to express meaning, which is why they aren't usually taught in school, especially for English speakers. However, in Polish, grammatical cases are fundamental. If you are learning Polish, you will encounter grammatical cases early in your language learning journey, and they will remain a core focus on your progress for the long way. Each step will require understanding these cases step by step. This is the table of contents of one of the most popular krok po kroku course manual for elementary A1 level, but any other Polish manual or course shall teach these cases as well until we completely master all these cases till maybe around advanced level of Polish. Here is mianownik, which is nominative case; narzędnik, instrumental; then accusative, very important cases. It's like the most important cases which we learn at the very beginning. Then genitive case, we learn. Yes. Then we will need to learn genitive case, plural. Later on, we need to learn a locative case. At the end, we also learning dative case and vocative case as well. But this can go a little later because this is not the most important cases, the most used cases like the accusative case or instrumental. This is because in Polish, cases are integral to constructing the meaning. They can replace prepositions, and it doesn't relies on rigid word order forms like in English. As a result, learning Them will help you to understand Polish better, also enables to communicate naturally and effectively.
Can you give me more examples how this cases looks in practice?
And here's how cases look in practice. In Polish, dziewczynka lubi kota, the girl likes the cat, switch it around, kot lubi dziewczynkę, the cat likes the girl. In possession, kot dziewczynki, the cat of the girl. Here's a sentence in English. You pet his dog. What is you in the sentence? It's a subject, so it's nominative case. Pet, it's a verb, and his is in the genitive form. And dog is in the accusative case. Even when nothing is changing, it's still in the accusative case. In Polish, also not everything must to change, but they just still having this function of genitive case or accusative or nominative, even without any change, just because. In Polish, this sentence would be głaszczesz jego psa. So głaszczesz means you pet. So it's already a conjugated verb. Jego is a genitive case, and psa refers to the accusative case. And the nominative case of this word is pies. Dog is pies, but we change pies for psa in its accusative form. In Polish, this sentence would be głaszczesz jego psa. So głaszczesz means you pet. In Polish, certain prepositions pair with specific cases. For example, Polish lacks a direct equivalent of the English preposition of, so the genitive case is used to express this possession relationship and replacing this preposition of. And what's fascinating about Polish grammar is that in Polish we can easily change the sentence into passive like without changing a verb or adding extra is being. In Polish, these cases may provide enough information already to make this sentence reversible. For example, Kasia pije herbatę. Herbatę pije Kasia means exactly the same. They both means Kasia is drinking tea. Similarly, Kasia lubi Pawła or Pawła lubi Kasia means Kasia likes Pawła. And this flexibility is possible only because these cases indicate what is the subject and what's the object. So regardless of the word or...
Oh, Polish passive form is so simple. Carolina, can you show me how Polish declination look like?
Now let's look at the declination of the word przyjaciel, friend, across all the 7 Polish cases. As you see, the endings change depending on their case. And how we decline will vary, depends on several factors. So let me show you an example of this krok po kroku board. This is mianownik nominative case. And cases, first they vary based on their part of speech. If this is a noun, rzeczownik, or adjective, or some other part of speech. For instance, nouns will follow one set of rules and some patterns, some endings different, and these adjectives will also follow different. Additionally, genders plays a very important role. So when we see a word, a noun or adjective, we need to know if this is a masculine, feminine, or neutral. And then they also follow some different sets of rule, like student will be a masculine, so they usually ends on some consonants, sometimes on a, for their subjective basic nominative form. So actually nothing happens with the word, this is just like the basics. And then the Polish adjectives, which are masculine, ends on y. Dobry means good, or sometimes after K or G it is E. Like here, wysoki means tall. Here, feminine adjectives ends on a in Polish, and this rzeczownik nouns also ends usually on a, sometimes on e. So the singular form, but it will also have another table for its plural, and for plural we have two different variations. There is a plural masculine personal and non-masculine. This means that this ending we use will differ depending on whether a word is singular or plural and whether it belongs to a particular group of gender. So learning declination isn't just about memorizing cases, it's also about understanding these border patterns and how they apply to different words. So we must to understand genders and the parts of speech words. So here you can see how the noun przyjaciel, a friend, is being declined per this Polish 7 cases. Nominative przyjaciel, genitive przyjaciela, dative przyjacielowi, accusative przyjaciela, instrumental przyjacielem, locative przyjacielu, and vocative przyjacielu. So the plural form will be also different, as you see here, but some words are also looking the same, right? Genitive and instrumental, right? Genitive przyjaciele and accusative also przyjaciela, locative and vocative przyjacielu, so that's the same. So not everything is different. So they look like this, like they have these different endings, very little changes. But also there will be different conjugation for przyjaciółka, which is a friend, which is a girl, and its plural form przyjaciele, and for feminine it is przyjaciółki. We also have these different non-masculine patterns to follow. So while learning Polish, we need to be aware of these genders and pay some close attention to these endings, which will indicate this grammatical rule in the sentence.
Can you tell me a bit more about this Polish cases that doesn't exist in English?
Now let's look for the other cases that doesn't apply to English. One of it is a dative case, which one of its function is to indicate a recipient, typically when somebody is receiving something. So daję prezent przyjacielowi means I am giving present to the friend. So again, in English we use preposition to the friend, but in Polish we don't use this to the, we just change the friend accordingly to its dative case. Another case is a locative case. It's used to describe location, and it will also come with preposition o, about, in, w, na, on, przy, nearby. For example, Dzieci są w szkole. So, szkoła, it's a nominative case, it's basic subjective form, and szkole is a locative form of this noun. Then instrumental case, and one of its function is identifying like some tool by which an action is accomplished, which help us to do something, to perform some activity, like piszę ołówkiem. I write with a pencil. So here you can see how short the sentence is just 2 words. Piszę ołówkiem. And in English it is I am writing with a pencil. And in Polish we don't need this preposition with, we already have this, so it's just piszę ołówkiem. And it already expressing the same idea. For instrumental case, it is also very often we use the preposition z, like with. Idę z przyjacielem. I am going with my friend. So yes, more about this you will learn in class when you will be learning these specific cases one by one, because we cannot learn everything by once. There is too much rules to learn, but for now it's just to understand. Now when you already watch the video, I recommend you to test yourself in the quiz. There you will identify various cases, analyze their functions, and practice recognizing them in these sentences. And that's a great way to reinforce how grammatical cases and how they differ from English language. Thank you so much for listening. Understanding grammatical cases is a challenge, but mastering them is a key for understanding Polish. I hope that this video helped you to clarify some of this concept. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and give it a like, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye.